we're going to get started so that you can see poached and hollandaise sauce. So we're going to start with the hollandaise, which is our guided recipe. What I've done, I'm going to go to my 3 little dots. I'm going to go to my week. So I'm going to my week because I've already searched up the hollandaise sauce. I added it to my week. I actually added it about a week ago knowing that I was going to make it today. So there it is, hollandaise sauce, because I've cooked today. If I had put a few more things in my menu plan, you would have seen them all listed here under the date. That's one of the beautiful advantages of having cookie dough. So here is my recipe. So we're going to press start cooking and away we go. The great thing about guided cooking is it's going to, like car routing guidance, or what do they call that, navigation. This is going to navigate you through the recipe till you get a perfect result every single time. It's already engaged our wonderful scales. I'm going to put 10 grams of water. Now, hollandaise sauce, tell me who's made hollandaise sauce. Pop that in the chat box and let me know who has made it. It's one of those things that, you know, can very easily go wrong. There's a few areas where it can go wrong. You do need to be a little bit precise with this recipe. Things like hollandaise, mayonnaise, you try to be a little bit more accurate. I'm not your most accurate cook. I'm more of a just throw in, yeah, close enough is good enough type cook. Actually, let me know, are you a precise cook or are you a kind of like chuck it in, close enough is good enough? Let me know. All right, next, we've got our water. 10 to 20 grams of lemon juice, guys. Now this is only half a lemon, pretty much, depending on how, you know, tart you like your hollandaise. Will depend on how much, whether you put the 20 grams or the 10. I just do half a lemon, whatever that is, that's what it is. Tip, very, very important. If ever your hollandaise or mayonnaises for that matter are splitting, usually the reason for that, is your acid, which is your lemon juice. Because it's quite particular. If you've got a lemon that's been sitting around for ages, it's not as stable as an acid, so it tends to split. If you are nervous because you've had them split before, use some white wine vinegar, apple cider vinegar in place of the lemon juice. And then if you really love the flavour of lemon juice, then just pop in some lemon juice after, once you know it's worked. The more acid you put in there, the thinner the result. And if you want it thicker, usually you have to add more of the fat. In this particular case, we're adding butter, but if you're doing mayo, it would be the oil. So we're going to put in our 10 to 20 grams. I think it's about 14 grams there. And then we're going to, when I press next, put our 150 grams of cubed unsalted butter, which you can actually use your own homemade butter if you like. Who's been making their own homemade butter? How awesome is it that you can make butter and save some money, especially when cream is on special, and you can buy it all out, put it in your freezer and make your own butter, and you get buttermilk out of that too. So it's 4 egg yolks. So I've separated the eggs and I'm putting 4 egg yolks in there. It's a really easy chuck everything in type recipe. Who loves that? I love that. I'm a really kind of a lazy cook. As much as I love it, I still like to, you know, skip, make, what do you call it? Cut corners, not skip corners. I'm going to put a little bit of salt. It says 1 to 2 pinches to taste, guys. Always just do it to taste. And I'm pretty sure the next thing is pepper. A little bit of pepper, again, to taste. All right, that's it. They are all our ingredients. Very, very simple to do. Who knew that hollandaise sauce could be so simple? I'm going to put that on. This is actually using, on the TM6, this particular recipe is using the Thicken Mode. So it's a mode, and I'll show you where you kind of can access these modes in a moment. But it's got approximately 12 minutes there because it actually is going to sense the ingredients in the bowl and work out how much time it needs to get to that thick consistency. 80 degrees is all we need, because if you've got any hotter than that, you're going to split. That's another kind of factor that will mean that your hollandaise will split. And see how it's got a little cup here, or or spout or whatever it is that you call those things. And that is telling us that it's on thicken mode. So I'm just going to turn the dial and away it goes. So it's going to determine from the temperature of those ingredients how long it thinks it needs, and then it's also going to sense when it thinks that it's reached the thickness, the consistency that it needs. Let me just get my bread out because I want to show you I made a nice kind of rustic basic loaf, and that is definitely ready. So I have a very crunchy exterior. Have a look at that. That is my bread. Who's made bread in their family? I have some tips on how to make a really awesome loaf. And this is just a basic white bread, but I wanted to make my own bread so that we've got something to put this poached eggs on. That's my dinner tonight, by the way. I'm having poached eggs with hollandaise sauce on homemade bread. You could do worse, right? I'm just going to go and put this over to the side because it needs to cool. Did you just hear that? The change in the Thermomix sound because the blades went faster because it's sensing that it needed to go on a faster speed. All right. What does it say next? Serve. Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it because I don't know if you can see how awesome, I don't want to tip it all over my computer, but how beautiful and creamy that hollandaise sauce is. My mouth's watering, peoples. I'm sorry there's no tastings for you guys, but you're going to go and make them. And if you haven't got a Thermomix, you're going to get one stat so you can start making this stuff. But let me just show you as I pour it into. Can you see that? How gorgeous. It almost looks like a custard. That's how beautiful it is. All right, so I'm just going to, I'm making a mess because I was trying to show you guys what it looked like. Who's got a bit of a love-hate relationship with their spatula? I know some people love it, I know some people don't. What I want you to do is get really familiar with your spatula. Learn to love it. It's an awesome tool to have with your Thermomix. You just need to get really good at making it your friend. And that is using a little bit of pressure when you are scraping things out. And you're going to go right to the base and go all the way around, turning the blades. That's how you get it all off the sides. Who knows the tip of getting it off the blades? Because you want to get it all off the underside there. Ooh, look at this goodness on here. We don't want that to go to waste, do we? So I'm going to pour that in here too. Absolutely. I'm making such a mess. Let's finish this. I'm just going to go straight up here. Instead of turbo, I'm actually just going to put it up to speed 10. Just for a split second. And wait for Buckingham to open. And there's a whole heap more there that I can get out. Ta-da, done. So that's going to just stay warm in my little mini thermo server while I now am going to change bowls. Let's pop that in there on the side, hopefully. So that's going to go to my husband. He's going to clean that for me. How awesome to have a helper. And I'm going to get my nice clean second bowl blade lid because it's so handy to have one. And maybe you guys can start telling me in the chat box why a second bowl blade lid is so handy, apart from just going to the next step without having to wait. What are some other reasons why having a second bowl blade is so cool? And now I'm going to do the manual version of poached eggs. What you want to do first for your poached eggs is pop in your blade cover, and the long bits go down at the bottom, and it just literally sits on the blade and just sort of look. So just sits like that on the blade. Okay, that's going to sit there, and then I'm going to go to my scales. That's where the modes are, by the way. Just by swiping, you get to your modes where there's Thicken Mode, You can do custard by using Thicken. You can do bowl-blade lids. So I've got white vinegar here, very important, 170 grams of white vinegar. Got my scales on, and that is going on. In. Next, I want to tare and put 1,700 grams of water. Now, I've just boiled the water just to make it faster for you guys. And then you just get to 1,700. Very important that it's got that much water in there. What you're going to find is that 7. Fabulous. So what you're going to find is that it gets up to the 2 litre mark, pretty much the water. That's where it sits. We're going to put our lid on. We are going to now use our kettle mode, and we want it on 100 degrees. Now, the kettle mode's awesome because once it gets to 100, it stops. So I'm just going to turn it on, and it's kind of sensing, again, what temperature that water is at, and it's going to keep going until it gets it to 100. I'm not sure why it's at 55 already, unless it just hasn't kind of worked out. Yeah, there you go, it's going up now. All right, what was I going to say to you while I was doing that? Poached eggs. Oh, the blade cover. When I was doing this the other day, when I plopped my eggs in there, there was, some of them did get stuck on that little blade cover. It wasn't a big deal. I just used my slotted spoon when I was getting them out and very gently just pulled it off of the blade, and it stayed fine. But if you are nervous about that and you don't want that happening, one thing you could try is spraying that blade cover with a little bit of olive oil before you pop it in there. Give it a go and see if that helps. That's only if you're a little bit nervous, but if you're fine with just, gently scooping it up, then don't worry about that stuff. All right, so we're at 90 degrees. Once it gets to 100, I'm going to put 5 minutes on the clock, and I'm going to put it on reverse and speed soft. So I start with 5 minutes. Depends how many eggs you want to put in there. If you're doing just 2 poached eggs, you want to do it for 3 minutes 30. I hope you guys are writing this down. If you are not remembering this recipe, there are poached eggs recipes that you can follow on the guided, no problem. I just find this particular manual recipe is brilliant. It worked for me, and it was shared to me by one of the team leaders, the lovely Tyne. Cooking with Lisa on Instagram has this. So if you're on Instagram, go and check out Cooking with Lisa because she's got this, or just reach out to your consultant and they will give it to you. That's probably the easiest way for you to find it. So 2 eggs is 3 minutes 30. 4 eggs is 4 minutes, and I wouldn't do any more than 4 at a time. But I wanted 6 the other day because I have 3 grown children. So we were cooking for 5 and one of them likes 2 eggs. So we did 6, but I did 4 and then took those 4 out, reheated the water back up to 100 again, and then did the next 2 for 3 minutes 30. And that was perfect. This is where you're going to have to work a little bit fast because you don't want that water to cool down. So remember, 5 minutes on the clock, just to start with, because it depends how long it takes you to put the eggs in. When I did this, I just cracked them into a bowl and then plopped them in one by one. I didn't have them ready like I've got tonight. We want 100 degrees on there and reverse, speed, soft. MC comes off, guys, and it stays off during this whole process. So we're going to make sure that it is at 100, which it is. And then you're just going to very quickly, don't you like these cute little eco bowls? They are on the mix shop, guys. We're going to put in quite fast. You don't want to go too slow. You're going to plop in your eggs. Okay, that's done. And then I'm going to adjust this time down to 330 because that's how long I need for 2 eggs. So for 3 minutes, that is going to cook for me. In the meantime, you want to get like a plate with a paper towel because you do need to drain those eggs, poached eggs, because they're in water, so they need really good draining. I'm just doing it in my oven thermo server. I saw some other tips about using your eggs cold from the fridge. They work better if they're cold. I also saw somebody strain the eggs to get rid of the watery part of it, so you just keep the really gluggy stuff. But I felt like that was a little bit of a waste for me, and I just wanted to pop the whole egg in there. So I did. And let's hope it all works really well. I'm going to use that. I'm just going to try and move these things aside. Oh, the other thing I wanted to, I'm going to cut that bread in a minute so that you can see. Actually, I'll cut the bread while I'm letting it drain, and then that way we're using up the time effectively here. Any questions? Any other questions? Please pop them in there and Leanne will ask. All right, that is done. I'm going to use my beautiful switched spoon to grab one poached egg. Nice. And the other one. I think when you strain it, what you don't get, when you strain the egg, you don't get these kind of bits here. That's what I think they meant by the watery bits. But I'm really kind of like a rustic kind of gal. All right, so I'll just pop them in there. Let's clean that up a little bit. Let's just pop that aside. I don't know if you can see. I'm going to put it on a thing, but let me just drain them. All right, while I get my bread. And what I'm going to get my husband to do is very carefully move the laptop off of what it's sitting on, which is this awesome, very new cutting board that you can get from the mixture. It's very, very new. It's extremely sturdy, and it has a position at the bottom so that you can actually scrape your contents of it, or the ingredients you've got that you've just chopped up, straight into the bowl of the Thermomix. Actually, I'll show you a little bit of a demo on what that looks like. So you would have your ingredients on here. It's full, so I just need to be careful. But basically it fits right underneath like that in that little groove, and you just pull your ingredients, scrape them into the bowl. And the other thing that fits just under here is the thermo server. The round thermo server can also go there, so you can scrape ingredients. So it's a really cool little board. I am now going to get that bread. I'm going to just get rid of that part for the moment because I just want to cut the end off. Oh, can you hear that crunch? Oh, yeah. Right, well, that's for someone who loves the ends of my bread. And now I'm going to put this back on so that I can get I like a nice thick fillet. It's still very warm. I know you really shouldn't cut warm bread, but it sometimes does destroy it. Okay, here we go. We've got a very nice thin. You can pop it there. You can toast it if you want to. You can put bacon on it if you like, whatever you want. And now I'm going to grab my poached egg. Thank you. I'll do this with a spoon. There it is. Poached egg on top. Let me get rid of this stringy bit. You can put 2 on top actually. This is going to be my, I told my husband, so this is my dinner. I'm not sure what you're having, but that's mine. It's so mean, it's been so good. And I'm going to put some, could you grab my spoon please, baby? Thank you. And put some hollandaise sauce on top. Doesn't need butter or anything because you know the hollandaise sauce is full of butter. And here we go. Put a nice dollop of that, depending on how much or how little you want, on top. And then you can put a little basil leaf on there, and you've got this beautiful poached eggs with hollandaise. And I'm going to grab a butter knife so that I can cut it and show you the inside so you can see how perfect that is. The butter knife is, oh, you got me the basil. That's so sweet. One basil leaf. Well, let me show you what it looks like on the inside. Then I cut that. All right. Oh, I did it without you seeing. I had it down. Look at that. How cool is that? Perfect, right? Perfect poached egg. That is amazing, and I can't wait to get into that. All right. Who likes that? It's so yummy. I'm just bringing this close to myself so that I can see you guys and see the comments. I might get my husband to just move to the side. Thank you. It's heavy. It's a super sturdy cooking board. Chopping board, not cooking board. All right. Who thinks that that looked really easy? Yes, so easy. And now they're going to give it a go. Who's going to do that? How do you get a Thermomix in your kitchen? It's as easy as reaching out to your consultant. They'll send you the link and away you go. And there are a few different payment options, including earning your Thermomix by becoming a consultant, but 24 months interest-free as well. So there are loads and loads of ways to get it. Now, so what I want you guys to do now is practice this recipe, get back to your consultant with a beautiful picture of your poached eggs and how they went with any questions. And I think I've covered everything. We haven't gone through cookie dough because we really didn't have enough time. But like I said, your consultants, when they do cooking experiences, you can ask them to go through that in as much detail as you want. And they can show you all the reasons why and the benefits of having cookie dough. If you haven't got a blade cover, the recipes that are on cookie dough are using the basket, the simmering basket, so that the egg doesn't go down to where the blade is. The blade cover helps to stop them from touching the blade, but yeah, if you don't have that, there is methods where you're using the simmering basket. You can use a blade cover on TM5 too, just so you know it is interchangeable. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really hope that you got something out of it. And make sure you reach out to your consultant just to work out what your next step is. Tonight is only going to be a success for me if you've been inspired enough to go and try these two recipes, or reach out and book in a cooking experience so you can learn more. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening. Look forward to seeing you again either in this space or face-to-face soon.